In this video, I'll show you how to put the 4 parts of the shaft support assembly onto a single sheet. So let's go and start a new drawing. So I'm still not going to use a D size, but I am going to have you use a C size paper. That's as big as I ever want you to use C size, because we're going to put a lot on this sheet. Please don't, if you send me a D size, I'll have to send it back to you. Okay, so base view. Now let's choose our parts. I'm going to start with this base, and we're going to have to scale this down because we're going to try to fit half scale is probably good. Fit all these details on here, and let's find a good front view. Remember, do not let the software decide what your front view is going to be. Find the front view that gives you the most information, fewest hidden lines, longest dimension. I think that's going to be our front view. Okay, top view, right side view, and our ISO. Right click and say okay. I may change that after I get going here. Okay, I'm going to put these 3 views down here in kind of the lower left hand corner, and I want to leave myself room to dimension these. Now what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have multiple parts, is I'm going to label this. Oops, I need to turn on my hidden lines. So edit view, turn on hidden lines. So let's label it. Let's go to annotate text, and let's put a text box here. And I want to put the name of the part, and it's going to be, oops, put my capital letters on. Base plate, and the part number. And this one's going to be part 31-003. And let's center that on in the text box. So if you highlight that and go up there, it'll center it. That's going to be kind of small on the sheet. So also let's bump up the font size. So the default is 0.12. Let's make it twice as big. It looks gigantic here. It'll be fine on the sheet. There you go. Because we want to be able to want it to be easy to read it. Okay, so we can always move that around if we need more space. Let's go and go up to place views. Let's add another part. So now we're going to add the bearing. And again, let's pick a view that we think is most descriptive. I think we had it right there. So that looks like a good front view, top view, right side, and ISO. And let's tuck that in here. Again, I want to turn on my hidden lines. And that should work. Now again, I'm not sure how much space. Once I start dimensioning, I may need a little more room. Now, I'm going to need a title for this, but the easy thing to do, since I have this all set up, is just copy this one. So just right click, copy, come up here, and paste it. Oops, I didn't want 2 of them. And let's just edit it. So double click on that, and let's just change that. And that one is actually the bearing. Or you can just start a new one, fine, it doesn't really matter. And that part number changes to part number 2. Say okay. All right, let's keep going. So then we want to put our collar on there. Let's slide all these over here. Should have done that before I clicked out of that. Anyways, that's fine. And probably going to find the top view and the right side view are the same view. Right click, edit view, turn on my hiddens. I don't really need that top view. So those views like that will be fine. And then I've got to put my screw in. Oh, let's go ahead and label it. So again, right click, copy, paste, and double click on that. And that is the collar. And the collar is part number 1. Oops, 1, okay. And let's add in now our cap screw. Now it's gigantic, but let's find a scale. May have to have a bigger, like that's half scale. It's can't even see the thing. So find some kind of a scale here. That's probably workable for what we're trying to do. Having second thoughts. I need to flip that. There we go. That's a much better view. The reason I flipped that is because I want to be able to dimension the head of that bolt. Okay, we're going to also have that situation where the top view and the front view are pretty much the same. I'll just delete that. I don't need 3 views for that. Alright, so that's how much real estate I'm going to need. It should be fine. I think I can, you know, as long as I can get these dimensioned. You can always rearrange them. I may have, because these two probably need the most dimensions. We'll just see how it goes. It's easy to move this stuff around. Again, I'm going to copy that before I forget. Paste that down here. And that's the cap screw. And the cap screw is actually part number 4. Okay, so I'm sure I'm going to be probably moving stuff around as I go, but I'm in pretty good shape here. You want to try to don't let the parts kind of blend together too much. Make sure it's obvious what is what. Biggest concern is probably being able to get all these dimensions on here. I don't really love this view. Let's see if we can get a different view. And maybe that one's okay. I kind of like that sort of view like that. Also, it doesn't take up as much space too. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, and if you just zoom in on these, you should have room for dimensioning. Everything should be fine. So just do it as normal. Let's go ahead and put all of our center marks, center lines, just like we always do. Quite a few holes in this part here. Now these are threaded holes, so they're showing up because I made the threads on there. They're showing up as threaded holes. Remember the double, that double set of hidden lines indicates a threaded hole. And that's because I threaded them on the model. Okay, and center marks for the holes. And so forth. So you just want to go through and dimension all these views, include all the features. I just noticed something here. Now this view, that's a good front view, but see, I have a little bit of a problem because in that top view I can't see that hole. It's showing up as a hidden, so they don't really have a good place to dimension it. So what you may want to do there, a couple of things I could do. I could reconsider this view before I do dimensions on it. And let's think if maybe we could, that is definitely not it. Oh, I know what we want to do. Keep going, there we go. If we did that, there we go. So now I'm going to be able to see the hole. I can dimension it and it's true, you know, it's not hidden, so I'll be able to dimension it. I can see my counterbore, so that's probably a better view. That view's not great, but we know how to change that. Custom view, and again, get this thing the way you want it to look. That looks a lot better. And the rest of those should be good. On these, let's look at a couple things. So don't forget, now these are threaded holes. They should show up when you put your dimensions on these threaded holes. Oops, let me try the other one and see. They don't show up, you're gonna have to go in and edit those. So I tried dimensioning the outside and the inside. Just go in there, double click, we're gonna hide the dimension, and you're gonna turn that to, let's see, it's gonna be a 2x, and that's a 3/8, 24 UNF. right? So make sure you call out the threads when you have a threaded hole. Likewise on cap screw. Not getting anything. Let's try it again. I'll just have to use a leader then. That's okay. Right click continue and then just type in what you want. And again, it's 0.375, 24, 3/8, 24, UNF. Right, it's showing the thread. That's what that represents, but you need to call it out. Don't just call it the diameter. Make sure you dimension the slot. The rest of this is pretty straightforward, I think. Okay, so get all your dimensions on there. Everything is labeled. You're going to fill out the title block. In terms of title block, what you're going to do is do something like this. Yeah, let's call it detail parts. And then you would have some sort of a number on this. Let's just call that 1001. Say OK. And then also we're going to put our name up in there. It's nice to separate your name from the name of the part, name of the drawing. And when you save it under that number. Right, so when you're done, should have something that looks like that. Again, everything is dimensioned. It's fully dimensioned. You get your views. In this case, we deleted the top view. But always, if you have an option there, do the front and the right and delete the top if they're the same. Don't have a front and a top. That's odd. Same thing here. I have a front and I have a right. Now, this time I didn't. Let's see, I do need a couple of things still on here. I didn't finish this up, obviously. I need the depth of the slot and I need the width of the slot. So I just presented this a little bit there, but I think I have all the information that I need on there. So go through and make sure you have all the dimensions. The threaded holes are called out, the locations are called out, the threads on the cap screw. Oh yeah, also chamfer. So there is a chamfer tool up here for your dimensions. See it right there? Just what you have to do is click two lines. So click that line and that line. I don't think I got it. That line and that line, and it'll give you a chamfer dimension. Now it takes up a lot of space. If you want to, you can go in there and take off. If it does take up too much room, just do that. Take off. It's pretty obvious what it's telling you. You don't really need the words. We've talked about that before. Okay, so that way you can present all of your detailed drawings on a single sheet. So we'll have you turn in a full assembly on a B-size page, an exploded assembly on a B-size page, and then all of your details and put them on a C-size page. Don't forget to fill out the title block, all dimensions, all the information.